Alicia, how you doing?
I'm good, Ben. How you doing, man?
No complaints, no complaints. So we're gonna chop it up today on your story because I've got to know you from your content, but now I'm gonna get to bug you with personal questions. So I'm excited for this.
Okay.
First of all, when did you start posting on social media? How long ago was that?
Like the first time ever? Or like for this journey? Because there's two
Good
different
question.
answers.
We'll answer. Okay, give me both then, please.
So I've been playing with social media for a long time. Like I remember when Facebook first came out, I was in college. It took me a little while to get into TikTok, and I have another TikTok that's since been privated that I would just do with like my friends and fun trends and shit. So I'm familiar with it. I've been doing it for some time. Um, so I'm pretty comfortable talking to the camera and doing all this shit. But for this journey now, I started this TikTok and this Instagram back on July 12th of 2025.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? So July. That's only what, like 5 months ago? Not even
Yeah. So
August, September, October. Wow, 4 months ago.
yeah. So it'll be 4 months on the 12th that or the 13th that I
That's
started my
incredible.
TikTok. Yeah. And then
Wow, that's
Instagram, I think
incredible,
I
and you
started like a month
experienced.
later.
Wow, that was a month later. That's incredible. Okay, so when you started these pages, what was the motivation to actually create them in the first place? The most recent ones.
So I've had success with accountability by posting online before because the previous accounts I was telling you about, well, one of them was an Instagram account and it was strictly for my weight loss. And that's back when I lost 100 pounds. So I knew that if I
Wow,
started something for my weight loss again, that it would help hold me accountable. I didn't think I was going to amass the following that I have now because back then on my old account, I had maybe 1,000 and some followers, and that was it. I met some really cool people. They're great people, but it was just this time it exploded for some reason. Yeah, I'm still
dang,
surprised
that's
by
so
it,
cool.
quite honestly.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. I remember the first time I saw one of your videos, it was just so entertaining, so easy to watch, and you could just feel that it was something that was, like, real, right? And I think that's something that was really needed on social media because there's so much crap that's just not. And so I think
Yeah.
when people came across your content, at least it was like a breath of fresh air, it was something new, and I can relate to the accountability thing because whenever I've tried to lose weight in the past, I've always found that I do best if I'm in some sort of competition against someone else. So
Uh-huh.
I totally get when you say that you created the accountability through the content. When you knew you were gonna do it for that, you've kind of developed your own, like, format of content that's really awesome, like, where you have those voiceovers and you go through the day and you explain the whole story of the day.
Uh-huh.
Did you have that plan to make that kinda content before you started the page, or was that something you stumbled upon?
I stumbled upon it because I remember I was like, I'm gonna record everything that I eat today. I'm gonna record everything I eat today. I'm like gonna talk to the camera and tell them about it. And I kept fucking it up. And I was like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna record what I'm eating. I'm gonna record like myself making it, and maybe I'll do a fucking voiceover. Because even on my previous accounts, I never did voiceovers before. I was just like, I want to tell them what's going on and what I'm thinking, but I don't have the time to film all this and re-record it if I fuck it up or mess it up. I'm so sorry if I mess it up.
You're good.
So, so it was an accident, and then people loved it, so I just kept doing it.
That's so awesome. Yeah, and there's a lesson in that, right? Of doing like getting creative with finding a way to get to the end product in a way that you can actually do it, right? Like a lot of other people would just quit because they'd be like, "Oh, I can't do this the way that I wanted to, and this is the way it had to be done." But
Yeah.
it's really about getting it done in the first place, and then good things come when you start getting it done. And obviously,
Hmm.
people loved it,
Yeah.
and obviously the numbers tell the story. How many followers do you have on TikTok and Instagram right now?
TikTok, I think I'm at 274,000. And Instagram, I think I hit 276,000. Yeah,
That's amazing.
they're both in the
Wow,
270s right now,
that's
which
so
is
awesome.
I know, wow. And now my Instagram is growing way faster than my TikTok, which was weird because TikTok was going crazy, and now Instagram, I think Instagram is just a whole different platform for, like, weight loss content.
Totally.
And it's yeah, why it's
Yeah, I
exploding there.
also think that people because Instagram people follow more of their friends too, naturally, I do feel like your kinda content does bode even better there because it feels even more personal, right? Because people follow on Instagram different than they follow on TikTok, I've found. So I think
Yeah.
that makes total sense to me, and I'm glad to see people resonating with it. Obviously, I read your comments often, and it's so cool how the community that you've built is massive, but also like it's pretty consistent in terms of most of them are pretty like very cool people, which was something that I love the most is that some communities across the internet are very toxic, and I would say it's very much not the case within your community.
I know. I got pretty lucky. There's another content creator, Progressive Overhaul. I don't know if you've seen his content, Jesse. He messaged me one day. He's like, I have a good content idea. We should read hate comments that we get to the camera, like mean tweets like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or someone does. I was like, that sounds
Yeah.
like such a great idea. Let's do this. I had such a hard time finding hateful comments. I did. I
That's
was
such a
getting
good
annoyed
thing
with
to
it.
hear.
I was like, "Why can't" I know, I'm not complaining at all. I was like, "I really wanna participate in this, I can't find it." Yeah, the community that has kind of, really rallied behind me, um, I really just got lucky. I got
I
really,
don't think you
really
got
lucky.
lucky.
You don't
I
think
think you
so?
deserve it because the content that you make, like, you're a good person, so you attract good people to you. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I really believe in that, and
Yeah.
I think that you can tell that you give a shit about the whole thing you're doing, and then you also care about people too and how you talk, and you hear how you talk about other people, which really carries through. So, no,
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's luck. I think you did that, so give yourself some credit.
Oh.
That's a big part of what you did, so I think that's
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah, there you go. I know personally, whenever your videos pop up, always fun to watch, always a good time, and you've also made a ton of progress on the journey too, which obviously I think helps to get everyone, on it. Would you call it a road trip on your YouTube video? You call it
Yeah, it's a
a
weight
weight
loss
loss
road
road
trip.
trip?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think the weight
I
loss
like that
journey
because
just
you think
sounds too
that
Hallmarky.
it does. You're
It
right.
sounds a little cheap.
100%. So, but on the road trip, so you've done road trips in the past, and
Yeah.
what why did you feel compelled to start this road trip in particular?
Well, I had gained all the weight back that I had lost prior, except for maybe like 2 pounds, which is basically just all the weight back. So, in the job that I have now, I have to be pretty active, and everything was just harder. Work was harder. Going out with my friends was harder. Getting up in the morning, laying in bed was harder. Everything existing was harder. And then it just kind of got to the point where I was like, I just gotta cut the shit. Because I've tried to get back on my bullshit before. And I did the same thing I'm doing now. Like, there's a few different recipes and whatnot, but now I have that accountability factor where if I fuck up, I have to tell somebody. And
Mhm.
having to say that out loud that you fucked up, you messed up here scares you to not messing up at all.
To Totally.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. No, that's awesome. I'm glad that you have that, and I'm glad that it's obviously working so well. You've already What's going on? It's Ben here from Step Pals. I just want to thank you for watching the How I Lost the Weight podcast. Every episode, we bring on people who lost the weight to share their tactics, their stories, and their mindsets to help you achieve the very same thing. So if you're looking to hear from people like you who achieved what you're looking to achieve to reach your weight loss goals, make sure to click the subscribe button so that you don't miss a future episode. Super happy to have you. And with that out of the way, let's get back to the episode. From when we first met like a few months ago, I saw one of your videos. I reached out, and even from that point, like you've lost a fair amount of weight already. Do you know how much weight you've already lost doing this?
The highest amount I've lost so far is 45 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
I got that number like maybe 4 weeks ago. I've just
Yeah.
been kind of stuck at that with the traveling that I've been doing, and my lipedema has been really, really bad. But I can tell that I've lost more fat in those 4 weeks because my clothes are fitting better. I can feel it in my face and in my neck. So in total fat loss, I'm not sure, but I'm a whole new belt ready loss wise.
That's awesome. So let's let's talk about the lymphedema. Can you explain what that is and the complications that creates slash how you're dealing with it?
Yeah, well, as much as I can anyway. But basically,
Okay.
with sitting down for too long like this, sitting upright or
Hmm.
standing or walking for too long, um, like water and proteins collect in my legs down at the bottom and it causes them to swell. So, the lymphatic massage, so you can have lymphatic massages. And what I did was I laid down and he just very like gently brushed like just like you're petting a dog on the head or something. And it was pushing like the water and the proteins up from my leg into my neck to release it to get so I can pee
Wow.
it, you know what I mean? That's very loosely what I know. He used a lot of big words. But how it affects me daily is that it's just really uncomfortable and sometimes painful to move around. So like going to the gym, I've not gone to the gym in like 4 weeks. Yeah, it's been that uncomfortable. Could I push past it? Yeah, but I'm just not mentally there right now until I get some more of this down. But it just causes a great discomfort and sometimes a lot of pain.
No, it makes
This
total
still
sense.
treatment thing.
With for those I saw that they had those leg sleeves that looked like they were giving some sort of massage. Did you find much relief through that? Did that help?
Yeah, I did. Whenever I went to my doctor's office, is that what you're talking about when I put that thing over my
Mhm,
leg and it was like, yeah, so
mhm.
that's a lymphatic pump and that felt amazing. So that would take the manualness away from me having to like do my own lymphatic brushing. It felt good, but I'd have to be laying down is the problem. I
Mm,
can't walk around with that thing.
got it, okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, makes total sense. You're good, you're good. And how long have you been dealing with that? Has that been around for a long time?
My legs have been like this since before I can remember. I think I remember calling my mom in college when I was in marching band and I came back to my dorm and my foot and my leg was swollen. I remember
Mm,
that being the first time I realized it. And she was like, "Hey, you probably just been on it too long. Yeah, it feels like my legs have just been like getting worse and worse over the years." And that was back in 2007, I think 2006. So for a long time, been dealing with it. Not even knowing what it was. I just thought it was fat. Well, I thought it was just fat, but
and so when you're dealing with that, through like, as you continue to lose weight and as you're able to move more, will that continue to go down and be less painful?
yeah. And I've not had that conversation with my doctor, but I can tell you from experience it went down. Like when I back in 2019, I lost 100 pounds and my legs felt so much better. I could do so much. Like there was
Mm,
like a little bit of loose skin there, and sometimes it would swell up, but not as much as it is now. So with the more weight that I lost, the better it got. Like it won't
it
go
got
away. Like this is here to stay forever, if I'm understanding that correctly. But it can be a lot more manageable with the more weight that I lose.
Yeah, I can imagine they'll get better and better and better, which is I'm excited for that. I'm excited for you. So you said that you've done this road trip in the past and you lost 100 pounds on that road trip and
Yeah.
then gained it back. I think a lot of people can live through the exact same experience. I've done that before where I've dieted down and then
Mhm.
put back on the weight. It's always really easy to do. What were the things that led to you putting the weight back on? Is there anything specific that you can attribute it to?
Yeah, a few things. It was COVID was happening. So I lost all
That'll
that
do
weight in
it.
2019 and then yep, that'll do her. And then COVID happened and I had a very vigorous gym routine. I was going almost every single day. I was into my nutrition, I was working out, and then COVID shut it down and naturally I'm a very extroverted person. I need to get out in the wild and it just kind of put me in a depressive thing. That coupled
Totally
with
get
a
it.
few things over the years, like loss of relationships, loss of like loved ones, just kind of kept piling on okay, I want to have that comfort with eating and drinking because I drank like every day. So eating and drinking were my comfort items, and I leaned towards that anytime something bad would happen.
Totally get it. Eating wasn't as much for me. Definitely food is a big one. I always go back to that as like it's weird if I'm super excited, I'll eat. If I'm super anxious, I'll eat. It's like whatever sort of it kind of brings me back to a baseline. I guess it's how most people use their phone. Is like I would use food for. And so I can totally relate to that. But in doing this, what have you noticed that has allowed you to stick with it to lose 45 pounds? Like, what things are you doing in your day to day to achieve this kind of stuff?
I'm really just trying to keep myself busy because when I first started the TikTok, I realized that keeping myself busy and holding myself accountable was better. Because if I'm at home, I want to eat, but if I'm bored at home, I definitely want to eat. So I started that TikTok with an Uber goal. I was Ubering and losing weight. I found that whenever I was out the
Mm,
house, I wouldn't eat as much food. So if I keep myself busy and I keep myself distracted, um, then that's helpful. My coach Simon has also been a really great help, especially with providing like recipes and nutrition things and guidance to help with keeping everything at bay. My family helps, my partner helps, everybody's just kind of rallies behind it. So I'm louder about my journey
amazing.
this time. I had to have conversations
Good.
with my family and my friends and be like, "Don't
That's
offer
what I'm
me
doing.
anything." don't offer me
Yeah.
anything because I'm trying to lose weight. And if you offer, I might not be strong enough to say no. So it was kind of like really preparing for going on a road trip somewhere. Had to make sure my bags were
Mhm.
packed, everything was taken care of in my little apartment before I left. Had to warn the masses of what was going on and when I'll be back. Like it was, I had to prepare the others. Yeah.
And that's not easy to do because that's like you're going against the grain, right? You're going against what's become normal routine and everyone around you. And honestly, that's one of the biggest costs that you pay when you make a change is that everyone else around you doesn't like when you make a change, right? Even if it's
Yeah.
like for the betterment of your health, it's not that they don't like it. It's just it's out of the routine, and so they just don't know what to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what? Because so it's not easy to do that. So first of all, kudos to you for doing that, and obviously kudos to everyone else for helping you out. But why was this time so different? Because it sounds like the last time or previous times you've done this, you didn't do that, or did you? Like, why was this time so different?
I think it's just over the years I've learned um things that helped me along the way. Like, I have experience in losing weight. I'm not a novice at this. This is something I've become a
Totally.
professional in because I've done it for so long. So I know what to do and I know the tools and the resources that I need to have. But I think this time not being so scared of being open about it, like calling myself
Mm,
fat on the internet and acknowledging that there are fat fears. Like I didn't talk about those things before. And it wasn't really so much so because I didn't want everybody else to know, it's because it's embarrassing to think about those things. So now I'm just like,
totally.
well, it's kinda putting it in perspective for some people, like the people who do the pillow over the belly, whenever they're sitting down, right? Or the fat person looking up the restaurant to see if they'll fit in their chairs before they go. Like so taking people along on that ride and seeing their minds open up and like, oh, I get it, and the acceptance of that and the understanding of that from everybody else, I think that's what's keeping me going, right?
No, totally. And it's so when you hear it said out loud, like it only makes sense that that would be so important because that's part of the journey, right? Like that's and so if you're going through it yourself and you're only doing like you're only sharing the good stuff, then you're not dealing with the hardest stuff with anyone else there with you. You're all by yourself, and that makes
Mhm.
it so much harder. So I totally get that. That makes complete sense to me. And unfortunately, for a long period of time, especially on the internet, we just didn't talk about the stuff that we actually needed support for, and then kind of felt this game of like, oh well, am I the only one who goes through this? When it's like obviously you don't, but no one talks about it, so it feels like you are, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that was probably super refreshing, and I'm sure that's a big reason why your content blew up so much. But like you said
Mhm.
before, you are a pro at this. You've done this before, so you know what works versus what doesn't. I think there's a lot of people out there who have no clue. They've never started something like this. How do you go about acquiring the information to figure out what works? This episode of How I Lost the Weight is brought to you by Step Pals. Step Pals is a walking accountability game that works a lot like Tamagotchi. You adopt a virtual pet, you set a daily step goal, and you can only keep your Step Pal alive by hitting your daily steps and taking care of them. So it keeps you accountable to your steps, makes it a lot more fun, and there's a whole lot of nostalgia. And you can try out Step Pals for free on Apple or Android. Links are down below. Go give it a try, and happy walking. Let's get back into the episode.
How did I do it? I don't even know what led me to a calorie deficit whenever I first started doing it, because the first time I ever started to try to lose weight, my mom told me about Atkins. About the
I've heard of that.
Atkins
Yeah.
diet, a low carb diet,
Yep.
and it was really just about testing things out. So when people comment on my stuff, "Have you tried this? Have you tried that? You should do this." Man, I've done that before. I don't want to do it. It didn't
I've
work.
tried it. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried it. It's not working. So it was really just about researching different ways to lose weight, whether it was low carb or calorie deficit. I knew things that I didn't want to do, like weight loss surgery. I don't want to do GLP-1s. So it's people have to go out and seek that information, whether they seek it online, or whether they follow an account that can inform them of those things, or whether they get a coach, or whether they go to a gym and find a trainer. Like that information is vastly available everywhere. It's available on my account, like through what I talk about, and through my YouTube. I have a whole video about those things. So the information is out there, and I guess it just kind of like wondering what is it about it that you don't understand, so we can help get those questions answered a little bit. Because since I've been doing it for so long, I'm like, this is easy to get, so I'm not understanding why people aren't getting it. But I've also been doing this for
Mm,
some time. But
yeah.
Yeah, there's just an infinite amount of resources that people can access to determine what they want to do, except for
Totally.
fucking V-Shred or something. I think Scotty K talks about him a lot, but there's like little like some like forms and stuff people can fill out that'll tell them, well, this is probably be the best diet for you. No, just try what it is that you like
Figure it
and see
out.
what fits for you. If you are a carnivore and you're a meat eater, try that. Or but you still need to be in a calorie deficit when you're trying anything at all.
Totally. Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to is that all of these different diets are different forms of calorie deficit. So figuring out what makes the most sense for you is really huge and being realistic with like how do you want to live? Because some people can do the exact same thing and for one person it's enjoyable and the other person it's torture. And so you got to figure out what that looks like for you and build a system that gets you to that calorie deficit in a way that is the least painful. Like it's not going to be
Mhm.
fun to be in a calorie deficit, obviously, right? So how do you make this something that's sustainable and achievable, right? And so what have you found were the biggest like hacks or things that you did like what are some tips that you have that allow you to maintain a calorie deficit?
Boy, do I have sugar-free Jello,
Okay.
sugar-free Jello pudding mix, sugar-free Jello mix, unsweetened vanilla almond milk, turkey anything like turkey pepperoni, lean turkey. Like it's what obsessed me about people saying, I wish I could have a burger. Like I'm dieting and I wish I could have a burger. I'm like, you can totally freaking have a burger. Like you can put that puppy on a keto bun that's like 50 calories. You can get lean ground beef that's like 96 4. You can get low fat free, low fat cheese. You can make a burger out of something. Excuse me. So they're just you have to be mindful of food swaps, I think, and Google is gonna be your best friend, or if people like ChatGPT, your AI, best friend, even your little best friend in Snapchat, asking it, "How can I make this in a lower calorie recipe?" And you'll find it somewhere. There's a swap for everything, but the Jello has been my biggest one so far, plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Cottage cheese, I like that, people crap on it. 0 calorie sugar or 0 calorie, like, sodas. These lemonade packets that I drink all day so I can help get my water down because I think plain water is just boring sometimes. So, those are some of my favorites.
Love it. That's awesome. That's a very good list. And diet's so important because the majority of your gains, especially early, can be found just through making changes to what you're eating. And that can really go a long way. So, tracking your calories can be very helpful to figure out how many calories are in certain foods because until you've actually looked at the labels and understood what they mean and kind of given that context of like, hey, I'm trying to eat this much per day, like how much of my overall calories is this taking in? You really
Yeah,
don't get a feel for how bad some things are for you or I guess how high calorie they are. Like, I know I used to eat so much peanut butter as a kid because I had no sort of context for how,
not a
like,
clue.
calories were a thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, I just like it. So,
yep,
I ate so much of it, and now looking back, I'm like, I was eating thousands of calories of peanut butter in, like, one sitting because I had no idea.
thousands, like olive oil? Boy, what is it, like, I think it's a tablespoon, 120 get out of here. Get
Yeah, no, I
out.
easily like thousands of calories of oil in my meals, just thinking I'm being super healthy. I'm like, oh, olive oil's healthy, good to go.
Yeah,
And
yep.
not the case for calories. So definitely, it's definitely an enlightening experience to count the calories and do all of that. Do you find it hard? Like, how long did it take for where you don't really have to think about counting the calories too much? Because that's a lot of people complain about that. Like, I don't want to count the calories
How long did it take me to do what now? Like, to not
to feel normal with it. You know what I mean? 'Cause when you first start doing it, it does feel like a chore. How long did you start to build the habit?
maybe a month, maybe, but I still have, like, that annoyance with it, it's just tedious, but
Mhm.
now I can remember there's some things that I can look at and be like, "I know how many calories is in that." Very few things, and so sometimes I can add it up myself, but it's still, like, tedious. It's easier to do, it took me about a month to do, like, it comfortably. It's easier to do now, but it's still something that I hate doing. I hate doing it. It's hard, it's annoying, but there's other tools and resources out there that can help make it easier. Yeah. Probably about a
Totally.
month to get comfortable with it, and I'm
Okay.
still have a bad relationship with wanting to
You
do it.
don't love it.
I don't
Yeah,
love it.
that's part of the game, unfortunately, yeah. Which app do you use?
It's called Macros First.
Okay.
Yeah.
Macros first. Yeah, so any of the trackers, you can give them a try and definitely recommend using them. And even if it's like force yourself, what I found to at least use it for a week, because if most people eat pretty similarly week in and week out for the most
Mhm,
part. And so you can usually get a feel for what you're eating. And I'm really confident just doing that's going to show you you're eating probably a lot more calories than you think you're eating,
mhm.
because there's so many hidden calories, as Alicia and I were just saying, that are like hidden in little things like peanut butter or oil or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. So definitely recommend doing that. I want to try to give people more tips for how they can socially and like emotionally get prepared for it. So you mentioned that you talked to your family, you told them what you were doing. How can someone do the same? Like, how do you start that conversation?
Gosh. So, I'm a bad example for that because I didn't start it with them at first. I started my weight loss like that now, that's happening now, in secret, kind of,
Mm,
a little bit. I just started doing better with my food. 'Cause I had been doing this for some time, like, "Alright, I'm gonna get back in my bullshit, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that," and then I wouldn't do it. So, it really kinda comes to the times that you're with your family or with your friends and they offer you something and you have to say, "No." Be like, "No, I can't eat that right now." And then it's usually like, "Why not?" "Oh, come on, just one little bite." "Nah, man, one little bite's gonna hurt me." Like, it's gonna hurt me not just the bite itself, but I'm gonna want 10 more freaking bites, so I'm on a weight loss thing right now, so it'd help me out a lot if you wouldn't offer me stuff. So it's sometimes just, like, really simple like that. It's not a sit-down conversation like, "Look,
mhm.
losing weight." It's really just saying, "No, not eating that. Please don't offer it. It's hurting my progress."
Totally. Makes sense. Yeah, the world will give you opportunities to have the conversation. You might not even have to like, go have the conversation you're worried about. The world will give you the chance to just show
Yeah.
it, kind of thing, which is huge. And yeah, I think that's a great example of it being real when you make it real. And so you show people how to best support you as well. And so the more serious you take it, chances are the
Mhm.
people that care about you, the more serious they're going to take it too, which is going to lead to better outcomes. So I think the whole topic of accountability or a support system, people who may not feel comfortable with posting content and who aren't like as outgoing as you, how can they create their own form of accountability?
First of all, even if you're not posting it online, you need to take progress pictures. You need to take progress pictures and you need to take some kind of progress videos. Track it yourself, whether you write your weight on a mirror every Sunday or you're putting it in an app. But I don't think people who are losing weight really start taking themselves seriously until they start seeing the results. And it's hard to see the results when you live with yourself. So, taking a picture from the very, very start and then taking another picture of yourself a month later, you can determine you can see the differences. The number on the scale means something a little bit, but seeing that, being proud of the job and the hard work that you did, that's it. But you don't have to post anything on social media. You don't have to be loud about your weight loss journey. In my opinion, it's helpful, but you don't have to be. But take pictures. Even if you want, you can make an Instagram account or an online journal and private it and just keep it for you. But it needs to be talked about. It can't be just a weight loss thing that you're doing in silence, right? It needs to be acknowledged because it's literally like the elephant in the room that is something that you're working on all the time. So whether you're tracking it via notes or diary or private Instagram or just taking photos of yourself, it needs to be acknowledged by the person who's trying to do it and it needs to be acknowledged daily.
Totally. No, yeah, I think that's really important to make it real across as many avenues as you can. For when you were growing up, was weight something that was like front and center in your mind growing up too, or was this later in life?
Growing up, yeah, I don't think I started putting weight on until middle school.
Okay,
Yeah, middle school. And I don't know if that was maybe just like the social pressures of other kids and whatnot. But we had a weight problem in my family for some time. My dad was very overweight, and he lost it as I grew up. But that's something that I was very familiar with. I had family that would lose weight and gain weight and lose weight and gain weight.
same,
Like so, it was something that was very visible to me growing up there. But I live with my mom and my brother. My parents separated whenever I was like 6. I lived with my mom and my
mhm,
brother, and my mom was always very thin, skinny, Southern cook, though, didn't really help me at all. So I had a lot of different types of role models, whether they were overweight or not, or made clean food or didn't. It was, as a kid, just trying to do what I could and then realizing, okay, this food is making me fat.
Totally get it. My
Yeah.
my parents, it's a similar story. My parents got divorced when I was like 4 or 5, and very similar thing where there was obesity in one side of the family, not in the other, like very extremes on all over the place in terms of education and understanding on like what good is and all that stuff. And I would say I was my heaviest at around like, how old would I have been? I don't know, like 12 or 13, and I had put on a lot of weight, and I got bullied at school, and that kind of really, like, etched in, like, my obsessing over, like, weight or how I looked was because, like, it really impacted me with getting bullied about it. Did you
Hmm.
ever deal with anything from, like, a bullying standpoint for weight, or was everyone pretty nice?
Everyone was pretty nice. I don't remember anyone really bullying me for my weight, and maybe it's just because I'm just trying to block it out. I got picked
Well,
on a little bit more for being like a tomboy than I did like being chubby.
got it.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
still
okay, well, that's
wasn't picked
I'm
on that
glad.
much.
I'm glad you weren't picked on. That's awesome. That's very good to hear. So then when So, like, you said you put on weight when you were in middle school, but when was it ever actually, like, a problem? 'Cause kids go, they fluctuate in weight, sometimes they're bigger, sometimes they're smaller, like, that's a very natural thing. At what point in
Mhm.
your life did you say, like, "I want to lose weight"? Like, do you remember when you would first say that?
In high school, I remember saying it in high school. I would look at all the girls that I was going to high school with. I'm like, wow, they're really skinny. Wow, they're really skinny. I was like, I bet I'm like two of those people. But in actuality, I was maybe like 180 pounds, which isn't skinny. But I was chunkier than everybody else. Everybody else, but I wasn't happy with my weight. I would see myself in pictures and be like, I'm not skinny there. But it really got pretty bad when I went to college. Yeah, when I went to college, and then I remember getting it up to 300 probably when I was like 24, 25, maybe around then. Yeah. So it just kind of
Okay,
went up and down throughout that time.
got it. So if someone's never started a road trip before, like, where do you recommend they start? Like, do you recommend that they start counting calories? Do you recommend that they start working out first? Like, what do you, because if you just try to throw someone in who's never even thought about this stuff before to like counting calories, working out every day, like they're probably going to get overwhelmed and stop. How do you
Yeah.
recommend someone start something like this?
Well, your weight loss is the majority of your nutrition. I think it's like 80-20, right? Something like that.
Hmm.
They need to start with their nutrition. I would always suggest a calorie deficit because you can literally have anything as long as you're very mindful of what you're eating. So, first, a person needs to determine how much is what their maintenance calories are, like how much they would need to eat to maintain their weight, and then eat less than that. I don't even care what the less is. It could be all processed food, it could be all McDonald's, but as long as you're eating under your maintenance calories, starting there, not staying there, just starting there and getting used to counting, I think that kind of helps people ease into introducing better foods. Like, I still eat processed food, and I'm going to until the day that I die, but I'm incorporating more whole foods into it. I know. I'm incorporating more whole foods into my day, and I'm trying to be more mindful about the choices that I'm making. And maybe I'll be mostly whole foods one day, but starting with knowing how many calories that you need to eat in order to lose some weight is where someone needs to start and then work their way
So,
up from there. Because you're right,
got
it can get so overwhelming for someone whenever they start, "You know what? I'm gonna start eating better, and then I'm gonna go to the gym, and I'm gonna run like a 5K with my friends on Sunday, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." And then they burn themselves out, and they're like, "You know what? I'm not doing this anymore. It's not worth it. Let me just go ahead and DoorDash something." Like, that's how it happens, and it happens over and over and over again because people put too much on their plate to keep them at like a sustainable level, you know? So they have to introduce it in baby steps. It's my suggestion, especially someone who's never broached the idea of wanting to lose weight before. And not to listen to everyone else that says, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do it," because that's so overwhelming. Leave me alone. Leave them
it.
alone and let them work on something and have some consistency so they can see the results happening there. If they want to change it later, they'll ask. You know what I mean?
100%. No, very, very well said. And I think what I love about what you said is that you said 80% of your impact is going to come from food, right? And so if
Yeah,
you're only going to start with one thing, it's definitely where you should start because you're going to see the biggest impact there the fastest. And
yeah,
so that way you can start to see yourself in the mirror, like you said, to monitor how you're doing. And a lot of people can lose a lot of weight from making pretty minor changes to their diet once they're aware of what they're currently eating. So I love that. That's really, really good advice. In terms of like what people's why are, I think it's important to have like their why to make everything they're doing that they don't actually want to do something that's worth doing. What's
yeah.
your why for going on a road trip?
I just want to have a better quality of life. You know, there's things I want to do, I want to experience. Like, I want to travel more. I want to be unafraid to go somewhere with my friends because I'm scared I won't be able to keep up. I want to try foods from around the world and not be worried about getting fat and getting there on an airplane with total comfort. I just want to have a regular, schmegular, normal life and do like the things that someone skinny would do that they probably just don't even realize it's so easy for them every day. Like, I have to sit down to put my shoes on. Like, I wanna do simple things that you just can't do because your body is just kind of a hindrance and gets in the way, and I wanna not be in pain, you know? I
Totally
just
get it.
wanna
No,
be
it's
happier.
I get it. No, that's awesome. And I can't wait. I can't wait for you to get more and more of what do you call them? No skill victories?
Non-skill victories. Yeah.
Non skill victories. Yeah. Can you explain that whole thing?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people measure their success in their weight loss because they step on a scale and they see their number go down. And while scales are important, I think anyway, some people will disagree, and that's fucking fine. Some people, the scale is a good determination of how much weight that you're losing. But sometimes that scale doesn't move, and that scale doesn't move for some reasons. Like maybe you put some water weight on, or maybe you're gaining muscle. Non-scale victory is a victory that something that you couldn't do before that you can do now as a result of your weight loss. Like I don't know, one day I'm gonna be able to put my shoes on without sitting down. That'll be a non-scale victory. This shirt can button now. And it couldn't before. That's a non-scale victory. So things that someone can be proud of that's not measured by the number on the scale that's attributed to their
I
weight
love
loss.
that so much. That's really important because that makes it all have meaning behind it. Like, why are we doing this in the first place? It's to live a better life. And you're saying
Yeah,
like, here's all the ways. And you're what I love about that so much is that you're zooming in on the win, right? So you're like, this may seem like not a big deal, but look, I can do this now, and that's a
yeah,
big deal, and that's because of all this work. And so that's
you're
a
right,
great
and
feedback, like for your head, because you're like, this is now positive. I'm gonna keep going.
people ask all the time, they're like, "What's your motivator? How do you keep going? What do you do whenever you wanna give up?" I was like, I think about those things because once the non-scale victories start, like, they start coming in fast. Like, once you get one, they're just gonna
Mm,
keep coming one after another, after another, after another. So, if I mess up right now and I gain my weight back, my non-scale victories are gonna disappear. Like, and I wanna keep getting them because it's like the best serotonin boost ever. It's like a slap to your face, it hits you out of nowhere, that, "Oh, wow, I can do this now." Like, I can get in my shower now without having to hold on to the wall, I can
that's
just
so
lift my
awesome.
leg up and get
Can you give us a list of the ones that you've had so far for your top non-scale victories?
You asked me on the spot. Well, definitely my clothes fitting better. I'm on my last belt loop notch on my belt. That's a good
Nice.
one. I can go up and down my stairs without having to hold onto the rail. I can get in my shower without having to like balance myself on the wall. I can get up off the floor in less than 10 seconds, whereas before it took me like a minute to get up off of it. My feet have lost weight, so my shoes fit looser. Like, those are some examples. I can fit in my car better. I can get in and out of my car better. I can walk longer. I can stand longer. I don't get out of breath so easy. There's just a lot. Probably more I'm not
That's
even thinking
awesome.
of.
No, that's so great, and I think that anyone who is gonna go on their own road trip should definitely document the non-scale victories. I really like that a lot. That's super awesome. So,
Yeah.
if someone has gone on road trips before and they weren't successful ones, and so they just feel like they can't, I'm sure you've had a lot of people reaching out to you saying the same sort of thing or commenting the same sort of thing. What do you typically say to them to try to hopefully get them on the right track?
I really just try to celebrate people and the wins that they're having right now and tell them to remember how good it feels to do what they're doing. There's really not much I can say to them aside from, just find your motivator and stick with it because everyone's is different. Everyone's is different. And no one really comes to me and says, "How do I do this?" or "How do I start?" Most of the time, they just come to me with a celebration that they have, and I celebrate with them and tell them to keep going. But if someone were to do
That's
that,
amazing.
then I would just tell them to remember their why, write it down, have it somewhere to remind themselves because once things start getting hard, then we kind of forget and we think it's not important anymore. So, yeah, let me go ahead and eat these 20 chicken nuggets in my bed like a little gremlin. Put some kind of reminder out there that this is what you're working for and you have one life. You don't get another one. You have one and ask yourself what is the hard that you want to have right now? Do you want to have the hard of losing weight, which is only temporary once you get it down, or do you want to have the hard of staying where you are, either in pain, unable to fit places, or just uncomfortable all the time? Pick your hard.
Totally. Yeah, that's something that I say all the time, right? You don't solve problems, you trade them. And so you got to decide which ones that you want to take on and choose your heart is a great way of saying that as well. GLP-1s are a massive thing that seems like they're all over social media. It seems like a lot of people are like documenting from that lens of like I'm taking the GLP-1 and then I'm documenting the progress. And it seems like it's given people some crazy results. Why have you not taken one if you're okay with answering that?
Well, I went to my doctor and I was curious about starting one, and my insurance wouldn't cover it.
Okay.
So she put me on something called Qsymia, which was an oral supplement or an oral pill that you took that was supposed to help, and it didn't help me. I didn't That didn't work. And by the time my insurance was going to approve this GLP-1, I was already doing my calorie deficit. Plus, my girlfriend was on a GLP-1 and she started having some really, really terrible side effects of those. Some of my friends do. I know it works for some people and I think that that's wonderful. But now that I have found something that's working for me and really don't want to risk the side effects that it comes with, no matter how big or small the possibility may be, I'm happy with what I'm doing now. So I want to keep doing that.
Love it. Yeah, and it's great to show examples of people using different options and getting good results because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about is figuring out what works for you and what makes
Yeah.
sense for how you want to live. And
Yeah,
that's all that it is.
weight loss isn't one size fits all, you know? There's a lot of different things, and I think if you wanna do the GLP-1 or weight loss surgery, whatever, if it works, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't demonize any of that.
totally. No, it makes total sense. Where can everyone find more Alicia in their life? Where can they follow you?
Oh, I'm on a lot of them now. I'm on Facebook. I think if you just type in
Nice.
Alicia XO, YouTube, Alicia XO, Instagram, Alicia XO, TikTok, Alicia. Some of them have an extra A in it,
Cool.
I think, but I'm not at
Cool.
all
I'll
of
make
them.
sure that all the links will be in the description box of this episode wherever you're consuming it. So definitely go follow her on all the places. And I want to thank you so much for making the videos, staying accountable, doing all the awesome stuff, and just being really fun to talk to you. I've been lucky enough to know you for a few months at this point, and it's always a pleasure
Yeah.
when I get to speak to you. And I know that you're helping a lot of people with your videos, so thank you for all that you do. They're always so awesome, and I know that you have to put a lot of work into them, but know that they're impacting a lot of people, so the work is definitely worth it.
Oh, well, thanks. And thanks for being so awesome and being so helpful whenever I need something or have a question. You're the bee's knees, Ben. I really enjoy getting to
Well,
know you.
I think that's you, Alicia. Actually, I have you in my phone as what is it? Alicia Badass, I think. Or where is it here? Alicia Legend. Yeah, that's what I have you in there. So,
Is that right? I have
yeah,
you in my
appreciate you
phone as Ben
tremendously.
Step Pals.
Hey, I'll take that. That's cool. But thank you so much, Alicia. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I hope you have an awesome weekend. And everyone who's listening to this, go follow her. You will not regret it. And thank you so much.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate you.